What's up, everybody? It's your boy. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing in them to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we in the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. It is a consummation devoutly to be wished to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. AKA Reed from Shameless Nerd. Today's video is about the things that you need to actually defeat your internet addiction. If you would be so kind as to have any interest in supporting the channel, you can do that for free by clicking the like button on this video and hitting subscribe. There's a reason why so many of the big channels on YouTube are constantly interrupting your video to beg for likes and subs. It makes a big difference. I try to put it in the beginning so it's not so shilly and we kind of get it out of the way, but if you wouldn't mind dropping a like and a sub, that would be great. You can even become a member if you'd like to support more directly by hitting the join button at the bottom there and pledging your soul to the Shameless Nerd community. I won't do anything with it, I promise. All right, let's get into it. Most of us know that we spend too much time on the internet. You definitely do because you clicked on this video, and I definitely do because I made this video. And that's the first step. You might not even really know why you feel like you spend too much time on the internet, and I'm not going to go into the reasons why it's a problem in the first place in this video, as I've already made a couple that are more centered around that idea. You can watch one here, or you can look in the description for some other ones. But we know intuitively, like, hey, it's probably not the best thing for my health, physical or mental, to watch another 100-minute compilation of The Office bloopers. The problem, though, is that even though we know that we're here too often, here we are. And even though step one in beating an addiction is admitting that you have a problem, there are other steps. That's actually why it's called a 12-step program when you go into AA. It's more than just a group who clap for each other after they introduce themselves. Hi, I'm Reed.
Hi, Reed.
Oh, guys, come on.
Reed.
No, stop. Stop it. Knowing we need to stop isn't going to help us stop. In fact, on its own, that really only makes us feel worse, which makes us do it more. And the bigger problem for us internet addicts is that most of the resources out there for internet addiction aren't taking us seriously. If you look up internet addiction on YouTube, it's just a bunch of people with circular glasses in cardigans sitting in armchairs preaching shit. Most of the help for internet addiction treats it like it's optional, and we just don't realize we have an issue. Digital detox videos come in two forms. Option number one: what's up, idiots? I'm so smart. Holy shit, did you know that the internet is bad? Corporations are controlling the internet now, and it used to be free and fun, and now it's bad, bad, ew, internet sucks, we're all gonna die. And option two: what's up, guys? I just threw my phone off the Empire State Building and walked aimlessly into the woods without stopping for 3 weeks, and all I had with me was this iPod mini. Here's what happened to me. And both are well-intentioned, I think, to varying degrees, but both aren't actually helpful, frankly, in my opinion. Option one is just stuff that we all already know intuitively, and if anything, it's just more articulate and research-backed explanations of what I already think, and ultimately, it just makes me sad. Option two is not feasible because, in my opinion, they're not really telling the truth in the first place. These people go back to using their phones after their experiment with the dumb phone because it's actually a huge hassle, and it doesn't fit the oversimplified narrative to talk about how hard it is to check into a flight if you don't have a smartphone with you, or how they got through the detox with the knowledge in mind that their experiment was being filmed for a YouTube video which they've already secured a sponsor for and a couple $1,000s. It makes it a lot easier to experiment with not having a smartphone if that experiment is your job. And even then, the conclusion each of those videos comes to is the same every time. Wow, I feel so great not having social media. You should quit social media. What about for the rest of us? And I agree, we should quit social media and get over our internet addiction, but how do we do that? Why is everyone pretending like they know how to do it, but not telling us how to do it? Making a video saying, I gave up heroin and I feel awesome, isn't advice to a heroin addict about how to quit heroin. It's just rubbing it in their face. So how do you beat internet addiction in the internet age when we rely on it for so much, when we need it, and when there is so much good on it? I don't know. Addiction is hard. There's no one-size-fits-all answer to defeating an addiction. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Wait, no, don't turn. I do have some suggestions, and 3 reasons why you can trust this advice. 3 reasons why this is different. 3 reasons why this is different from other videos like this. Number 1, I don't do YouTube for a living. I can't take 3 weeks off from being productive to experiment with not having a smartphone. I have a 3-year-old. I have work. I have things I have to do. This isn't a social experiment for YouTube. This is my life. Number 2, I'm not going to preach to you about how the internet has been ruined by corporations. Look, if I see another all lowercase letter tweet from McDonald's, I'm going to jump off a bridge. We all know how corporate monopolies and algorithmic timelines have warped the beautiful MySpace, MSN, LimeWire internet we grew up with. This is about actionability, not principle. Number 3, I don't have any money. I'm a middle school teacher. I just ate white rice for dinner. Just white rice. I can't buy some fancy e-ink Lightphone 3.0 digital task manager. We're just working with what we have here, okay? Without any further ado, what do I need to beat my internet addiction? We're gonna break it into 2 phases. Phase 1 is just 3 simple things you can start doing right now that don't take much effort or forethought, and you don't have to buy anything or vastly change your life in some major way. Then you just sit on those for a while, and when you adjust to that, when you're ready, you go on to phase 2. So phase 1, that damn phone. 3 steps. First, delete all the social media apps. I know what I said. I know. I guess it's hypocritical in a way, but just listen. First of all, just delete the apps from your phone. If you really want to get on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, you can let yourself just do it on your computer. Creating a barrier like this makes you far less likely to actually get on social media for a long stint of time or to use it as frequently, but allowing yourself the option to use it makes it way easier to keep up the willpower to not have it on your phone. Because we all know that social media is an issue. I mean, look at the screen time on your phone, okay? It ain't good, I promise you that. But ultimately, you're not missing anything. No one who has quit social media has felt like they're missing out or like deeply suffered from FOMO and got all panicky all the time. That's why people who have quit social media are so annoying. They're like intellectual vegans. Vegans love talking about being vegan because they feel really good and they don't have diarrhea. I'd be talking about it all day too. People who quit social media get all holier than thou and elitist and annoying because they're right and they know they're right. And there is nothing more dangerous and horrible than a man in his 20s who knows that he's right about something. You won't miss it, I promise. Just delete them. Second, turn off notifications to every app on your phone that you don't absolutely need notifications for. Most of internet addiction is preying on our FOMO. All we have to do is realize that FOMO is not real. It's just an acronym someone made up. It's the same thing as YOLO. No one's wearing highlighter green shirts that say YOLO anymore. I have super bad FOMO. I hate the idea of missing out on something. It keeps me up at night. That's the whole reason I'm so afraid of death. What if my friend says something funny and I'm too dead to hear it? FOMO is built into every app's business model now. They know that you want to keep up, and they're so nice and helpful that they'll gladly send you a push notification every 14 seconds saying, hey, check this out. Look at this. Use me. Go into the settings section on your phone and turn off the ability of your apps to send you notifications for anything except like text messages. The Wendy's app doesn't need to be able to notify you that they sell burgers. I know they sell burgers, that's why I downloaded the app. Apps ping you with a notification, and half the time you don't even do anything but clear the notification and get annoyed by it, but then your phone is in your hand, or you've opened the app, and you end up being on your phone again, and you never would have been on it if you didn't get that notification because you weren't even thinking about your phone. That's the thing, you weren't even missing it, you weren't waiting on that notification, eager to hop back into your phone, you were just walking or whatever. Or maybe you were in the middle of a conversation. Oh, hold on one second. Yeah, no, I'm listening. Yeah. What did he say? Once again, when you turn off the notifications, you'll notice you don't actually miss whatever was sending you the notifications. For example, I love sports, okay? I'm a big sports nerd. Actually, I like to keep up with multiple sports and do like 20 March Madness brackets and all that shit. I used to have Bleacher Report pinging me with notifications every 6 minutes or so, and all day long I was just clearing Bleacher Report notifications and thinking, well, at least I know what's going on with the sports I like. Well, now I super not have Bleacher Reports pinging me all the time, and I still know all the same shit. I still see the scores of the games I care about. I still hear the news about Luka gets traded to the Lakers and the NFL signings, and I still see all that stuff. I've learned that I don't need the notifications because I care about the information and I will seek it out. And the only difference, the only byproduct of this is that I don't have a million notifications popping up all the time. What this allows you to do is make the internet more like a newspaper. I've used this metaphor before. The problem isn't that the internet is killing us, it's the amount of time that we spend on it that's killing us. There's a lot of cool stuff on the internet. It's fun, and I want to see some of that stuff. Importantly, some of that stuff. Elon Musk, I don't think it's encroaching on free speech to remove graphic videos of murder from your platform, but some of that stuff. And turning all the notifications off just makes it to where I open the newspaper, I read what I want to read, and then I put the newspaper away. Third, find one thing to do. when you absent-mindedly relapse. When you get rid of social media and you turn off all the notifications, for a long time you'll find yourself aimlessly reaching for your phone out of habit. And you'll still kind of aimlessly wander mentally. You'll be accustomed to living in that internet haze for a while, and it's hard to break. I remember for months after doing this, I would open my phone and then promptly realized it had nothing to do on it, and I would swipe back and forth between pages on my home screen, or open my Gmail app or something, and then I'd be like, what the hell am I doing? And like jolt back into real life. So don't overwhelm yourself. Don't overload yourself with pressures to read a giant book or knit a sweater or something, but find one thing that you want to do, maybe something new or something you've wanted to do for a while in the kind of back of your mind, and just bring that to the forefront. And whenever you have that moment where you realize, what the hell am I doing on the calculator app right now? Just think about that thing instead. Maybe it's even something you could do that moment instead. Maybe it's writing something and you can open the Notes app on your phone and write or work on something you've been writing. Or maybe it's something you can read about instead. Maybe you're like, hey, I've been wanting to build a bench for the back porch forever or whatever. And when you have that little jolt to reality moment, you look up how to build a bench on Google and you just read about it. Even if you don't do anything yet, just read about that instead. Change your lazy. You don't have to be not lazy, just change it. Read about the bench. Do this for a while, and eventually you'll know how to build the bench, and you'll be more motivated every time you read about how to build the bench, that by the time you know how to do it, you'll go do it. And it doesn't even have to be something idealistic and productive like building a bench. Your thing to do could be a video game. Anything is better than social media. When we talk about internet addiction, we know what we're talking about. Old people lump in all kinds of stuff, but what we're talking about is passive, mindless consumption. Actively participating in a video game even is vastly different than doom-scrolling sex bot content on Elon Musk's Twitter or rage-bait cringe videos on TikTok. So when you reach for your phone, Pavlov dog yourself into recognizing that as a trigger to think about or read about your thing to do, or do your thing to do instead, and eventually you'll just make habits out of doing things instead of scrolling. And then after that third step, you can just stop for a while. Give yourself time to adjust to these pretty minor changes, and then as you acclimate to that slightly different lifestyle and you inevitably notice how much better you feel, how much more in touch with your real life and the world around you that you are, then you can enter the phase 2 of the patented Shameless Nerd process, and this is where you start to slowly introduce the physical tools. So, phase 2, the physical tools. If you've watched a couple of my other videos, you'll have seen me go through the contents of my goofy little purse full of all the things I use to decentralize my phone or whatever. These are things I've used to replace the fact that getting rid of a smartphone is not just getting rid of a phone. It's getting rid of like 100 things. It's getting rid of a camera, a music player, a to-do list, a calendar, a portable game console, and like a million other things. To replace the big pieces of that going away, you've got to have some stuff. And over time, I would personally recommend getting all of those things and switching to a dumb phone. I do think our smartphones are a major issue, and I don't agree that it's impossible to navigate life without a smartphone. I think that's a crutch that many of us use to justify participating in our addiction. However, if you want to go through every single thing I use for this purpose, you can watch either of those videos in the description. For this, I'm talking bare bones, what do you actually need for phase 2 of this process? And the answer is a $20 Walmart track phone or whatever, and a couple little pocket notebooks. You don't go into phase 2 until you've already undone a lot of the habits you work on in phase 1, and by the time you're here, this will seem like an even smaller ordeal than it is right now. And again, I'm not even recommending that you throw your smartphone into the sea, even in this phase 2 or whatever. The track phone is so that you can leave your smartphone put away, but you can still have it. You need it for stuff like paying bills on your bank app, sending your friends money on Cash App, using GPS navigation, group chat stuff, checking emails, etc. You might need to do all that stuff for whatever reason, and getting rid of your smartphone is a non-starter and you'll never make a change. You'll turn this video off and you won't do anything. So keep your iPhone. Just get a phone you keep in your pocket that only does calls and texts, and this is for actual like emergency use, like what a phone was originally designed to be for. And keep your smartphone in your backpack, or build up to a point where you keep your smartphone at home and you take the track phone to work. And you have the iPhone if you need it for something, but you'll end up only using it for the things you need, and it won't exist on your person as a perpetual distraction. This isn't a cost thing either. There are perfectly functional, shitty little Nokia phones you can buy at Walmart for $15, and then you buy a minutes card for them or whatever for $10, and you tell all your friends what you're doing, and that if they really need to contact you during the day, to call you on that number. It's honestly not that big of a change, especially in phase 2 after you've acclimated a little bit to some of these like more minor changes leading up to this. But the problem is, it sucks ass to type on a numerical keyboard, and a lot of those phones don't even have a place for notes or whatever. So You also will need to get a little pocket notebook. You can buy them at Dollar Tree for $1.25 or whatever, and you put it in your pocket. So if you need to remind yourself to do something or get a person's phone number, hey, I see you, or write a grocery list, just pop the notebook out, write it down, and then when you get home or back to your phone or computer, then digitize it. And that's it. Hopefully that helps, and hopefully that feels a little different than those videos I talked about that are on the same topic. I've watched so many of those and felt increasingly bad about myself for so long, and I somehow eventually made these changes anyway, so hopefully you got something out of this. And if not, I'm not on social media other than YouTube, so I won't see whatever you say about me anyway. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.